Alright, what's going on, guys? Just gonna do a trade recap here for Monday. We have traded 6 days in a row now. Um, so that's pretty big for me. Like, as you guys can see from my upload consistency, like prior to a week ago, it's pretty, off and on, if that makes sense. So this is big for me because I almost never used to wake up at 5 in the morning and trade. But yeah. So as you guys can tell from the title of the video, we went break even today. Um, I'm not upset with it at all. By the way, these are not the trades I took. This was just hypothetical that I never actually entered on. Um, it was. I'll show you guys which one it was. Okay, so now my executions just aren't gonna show, huh? Crazy. They were literally just showing a minute ago. That's awesome. Okay. Anyways, it was right in here. I'll show you guys the live execution as well. Basically, um, like I think I said, it's a setup I would take 10 times out of 10 if I saw it again. The only thing today that I didn't like was price action, honestly. I mean, it was like pretty much no news Monday, I think. I mean, there wasn't really any major news today. And I just didn't like how price delivered today. I thought it was choppy. I thought it was slow. Um, I mean, especially in here, like trying to find a move, you just couldn't. And then, like all morning, sorry guys, I'm sick. All morning I was bearish. Like going into the day, I'm bearish. Um, why? Simply because what I was expecting was I wanted to see this previous day high get swept, right? And I wanted to see us tap into this daily fair value gap before we go lower, because I thought this daily fair value gap was extremely strong. I didn't think we were gonna just inverse it. And it wouldn't be my trading style to just trade inside of it to go higher. It would make sense to go lower for me, but not to pre-predict the inverse of the gap, if that makes sense. But long before market open, about an hour before, we got a sweep of that previous day high. So right off the bat, I'm like, okay, we swept out a major point of buy side. I want to see us tap into this daily now and then go lower. So I waited till market open. We got a tap in here, and it was just super strong bullish candles, as you can see. So yeah, we tapped into this daily, and from there, I was just looking for a setup to the downside. Um, and it took a long time. It took, let's see, a good about 2.5 hours. So it took a while. I also tried to trade PM session. These were some hypothetical trades that I never actually entered on. Um, but I mean, as you guys can see, I was bearish, right? I didn't want to trade going up into this gap since we were already inside of it. That's just not how I trade. Now, NQ and ES were very different today. If I could show you guys here, I'm not too sure if I can, but oh, I don't know what happened here. Anyways, like these lows were these lows, which never got swept on ES. Actually, I think that was these lows. Yeah, that makes sense. So this low here was this low was this low, right? So lows on NQ that were swept were never swept on ES. So maybe I should have looked at that as bullish. Maybe I should, like, I don't know. But I don't know. I just had a super strong bearish bias today, and I wasn't really willing to change it unless we came down here, maybe into this 1 hour and then traded higher, which I think NQ did, but I don't really trade NQ. I don't know how the contract sizing works. I gotta do my research. But yeah. So what was the trade I took? Um basically on the uh let's see here. So when we tapped into this daily, we had triple SMT at these highs over the span of like half an hour. So it just, kept confirming my bearish bias. But what I was waiting for here the whole time was I want to see a CISD of this low. We got it, but we never, pushed lower. We never traded back into anything. So that's what I was waiting for. And then I was waiting for a CISD of these lows. We got it, but we never traded back into something properly. As you can see, there was a 5-minute gap here. And this is I'm going to show you guys this. This was a very common reoccurrence today. You see this 5-minute gap, how we got disrespected and then went lower? Look at this. Here's another 5-minute gap. It got disrespected, but then went lower. And it happens again. It happened all day today to the point where I was gonna follow the trend, what it was doing, and just if it got disrespected, I was gonna assume it was still gonna, in theory, respect it and go lower. You can see it just happened over and over and over. So that was the only issue. That's really why I didn't get an entry on like earlier here. I would have got an entry on this 5-minute if it held properly, but for some reason it didn't. But I would have got a decent entry on this if I'm not sure if I would have entered with that far of a candle. Probably would have risked 7 points, and I would have targeted the consequent encroachment of this for sure. But my main target would have been this, and I probably would have went break even at the consequent encroachment of this gap there. So it would have been a break even trade either way, but you sort of see what I'm saying. The common recurrence of, disrespecting these gaps, but still in theory respecting them. That makes sense? So that just happened all day, and it was getting pretty annoying. So anyways, after this big move, I was able to catch a entry that I liked. I'm gonna go ahead and pull up the execution just so I can also kind of remind myself why I entered. I can't fully remember. I know I had my stop at this high, and I just don't remember quite where I entered. I think it might have been something like this, because I know I risked about 5 points. I just don't know where I put my TP or anything. So anyways, let's just go ahead and check real quick. I'll pull up the execution here. I don't want this video to get too long. I believe it's this video. Alright, yeah, so as you can see, this was earlier in the day. This was just a trade that I didn't actually take, but it kind of worked out until market open. I still don't even know if this was news or not. No, that was market open candles. So around 11 o'clock is where I got my entry. Yeah, so right about here where I was able to get my entry. So this is where I entered on, as you guys can see. So I entered right. Let me just pull it up. I don't know why the executions aren't showing. So I believe it was on the bottom of this candle right here. I had my stop resting at these highs, just a tick above. And then my TP was all the way down at this sell side liquidity. Because I honestly thought that was our draw today. I thought that's where we were headed. I thought we were gonna hold this daily. Now, why did I enter this trade though? So obviously, we're tapping into this daily gap. We traded out of it. We got the CISD we wanted over here. We come out of this daily, we retrace into it, and we trade back into this 5 minute gap, just getting sort of like a retracement for a re-entry. Um, and I believe, right, and then we also had a big 5 minute inverse over here. I'll just go ahead and mark that out. It's gonna get super messy on this chart, man. Can't even tell what's going on. But anyways, there was a 5 minute inverse there as well. Price tapped off it. We got a strong rejection wick, but we didn't get a strong bearish candle after. So the buyers, I don't know, they're just too strong today, man. I don't know. And price just reversed, and we didn't work out in our favor. But I went break even at, let me double check where I went break even. Sure. Right, yeah. So I went break even. Oh, sorry. What the fuck is happening? What the hell? So I went break even at the consequent encroachment of this, which we tapped, and then boom, price just kind of reversed. Hit my stop, and then that was that. So I like the setup. I mean, maybe looking back at it now, it was more so, yeah, no, it wasn't really my model. It was more of a re-entry trying to get, which I've been doing a lot recently. Um, there wasn't really a liquidity sweep I was entering off of. I was kind of counting this as my liquidity sweep. You can see on the 1 minute sweeping out this. But, I mean, that's not really, how I trade. So, could I have done better? Yeah. I also could have avoided just trading today. I didn't like this price action. But, you know, it is what it is. I mean, I'm sure price action will be better tomorrow. We've now inversed this daily gap, which I'm sure we are going to tap back into and then go higher. So my bias is probably going to be, oh, I just seen this gap here. Anyways, my bias is probably going to be bullish tomorrow. So, because, we have to rebalance out all this, selling off here. Oh my god, this chart is a fucking mess. But anyways, guys, that's pretty much that. Honestly, I mean, I just had a strong bias today, and I didn't feel like changing it. The only reason, like, normally I will change my bias, I will adapt, but I didn't want to take a trade, like I said, inside of this going to inverse it, because I don't want to predict the inversion, because to me that's lower probability. I don't know. That's just not how I trade. I wouldn't, like, it's like saying, let me pull out the pen here. Like, this is the daily gap. It's like, okay, once price reaches into it, now I'm gonna long once it's inside of this daily, right? That just doesn't make sense to me. If anything, you would short, right? So that's sort of where my head was at, and that's still obviously my opinion on that. But yeah, that's gonna oh my god. That's gonna wrap that up, guys. I don't think there's anything else to really cover here. But yeah, there were quite a few trades throughout the day. Man, this happens so often where it seems like the trades I don't enter on always work out. But I don't know. I think one day I'm gonna buy a funded and then just take the trades that I never take and see what happens, because it pisses me off, man. It always just seems to be the trades that I don't take that work out. I don't get it. But anyways, we're just gonna stick with our rules. So yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow morning, Tuesday. And I'm feeling a winning trade tomorrow. I just am. I don't know, something in my bones. I just feel a big winning trade tomorrow. So anyways, I'll see you guys tomorrow.